quick one on skill development. Cognitive is at the beginner stages where you have to think about everything you're doing. As you develop, you can be able to perform a skill without thinking, autonomous. How long does it take you to go from complete beginner in a complex movement pattern to being able to do it without thinking? So let's say this is where you learn to ride in whitewater popping up, and this is where you can do a bottom turn without thinking about it. How long does it take?
It's probably pretty different for the age of the student. Like if it's a young student, they might pick it up super quickly because it's a new skill and they don't really have anything to base it on. If it's an older client, then yeah, they might struggle for a lot longer before they really pick it up quickly.
That's really good point. Yeah, you'll find adult students will ideally only get further so far along this chain development. So, but don't worry, as long as you're having a good time, because you're experienced coaches, just to give you a bit of an underpinning for it. What you want to do is every skill that you learn, bottom turn, cut back, everything, you'll go across this path, okay? It doesn't happen, the first time you perform a skill, like a bottom turn, you have to think about it. You might have to think about the first phase of it, and then you'll make a mistake on the second phase, that kind of thing. And then over a period of time, the main thing to understand, it takes a long time. Okay, so yeah, and what we do is if you've got someone that can already surf and they want to come for development coaching, work out where they are by checking their surfing out, checking their fitness out, and go, okay, they're there, then I can plan the lesson appropriately from that point there. Okay, or they might be there on the scale. Okay, so it's good, and try to also do this for each fundamental or important skill that surfing requires. This also highlights about feedback. So remember we were talking about feedback? You need to give it immediately. Okay, what happens is if you have a surfer and they have a lesson that they're along this line, they're being coached and they're getting feedback, and then they don't have any lessons, what happens is sometimes they can pick up a bad habit, and then that bad habit takes more coaching or more correction from the person. So what happens is their development takes longer. Okay, so if you have a really keen, passionate surfer and you give them good feedback immediately all the time, they'll go along this path a lot quicker. But if they don't get this feedback, like they come and have a coaching session every 6 months, you'll probably find that you have to undo a lot of this. Like things like if you teach people to pop up on their knees and they're learning to, their development surfers, they're not just coming down once every 6 months, what will actually happen is that they could pick up that habit of going to their knees to the point where it takes years to get rid of it.